Everyone's doing a lot more work from home these days. I've worked from home for years and years, so to me, I'm used to it. But I know there's a few challenges, and I love connecting with people like me who are working remotely and have done for a number of years, because it means we can give you some advice on how to make the best use of your time at home and the key things you need to be productive while working from home. So I recently connected with a chap called Matt Inman, who I met originally on Medium, which is a blogging website. And Matt is based in Missouri, so we did this remotely. Obviously, I'm in the UK. We did this over Skype, and we talked about Matt's 5 favourite pieces of tech for getting stuff done at home. There's something in there for everyone. I learned a couple of things I think I'm definitely going to buy myself. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Here's Matt. So Matt, obviously we both work from home and have done for a number of years now, and we both rely on technology and various other things to get things done. But I think today we'll talk about your 5 favourite pieces of technology to get stuff done at home. What's your first one? Hit me with it.
So I think when you first proposed this idea, I came up with a standard list, and it just didn't seem like something interesting to talk about, because who wants to talk about their computer or their mouse or their keyboard or something? So I kind of went a little outside the box. And the first piece of tech I want to talk about is probably the one we all have, and I think it's the one that can help us the most is that you're just your brain.
Yeah.
And I like the science around the hacking your brain. And one of the things that I really kind of been drawn to in the last couple of years is the idea of a flow or flow states, and that's the idea that you're it's a mental state where you perform your best. It's where you're fully immersed in whatever you're doing. Athletes might call it the zone, or runners might say it's a runner's high, but it's that state where time just doesn't seem to pass for you. And when you come out of it, you're surprised where an hour has passed or 2 hours has passed, and you have gotten the 2 hours of just solid work. Probably some of your best work you've probably done for the week or the day.
Yeah.
Is actually part of that.
Is that similar to deep work? Because that's something that I've kind of I've always read about, and I think I've inadvertently got into doing deep work myself. Because, like you say, you get into a mindset where you just headphones on or whatever you do to lock yourself away.
Yeah.
And just go for
absolutely.
It. First piece of tech is actually your brain. That's such a good point, isn't it?
It's actually.
I just wish my brain worked a bit better sometimes. It's not always the most reliable piece of tech that I've got, to be honest. But I think your second one was it's related to this, really, isn't it? It's brain.fm.
Yeah, and part of the idea of getting into flow is staying in flow and keeping your brain in that zone. And Brain FM it's a website, and it's also an app that what they've done is they have like human composers, and they work with AI as well, and they utilize music to kind of induce the neural pathways in your brain. And so it's a series of, I mean, it's music. It sounds, if you put it on, if you heard it, you'd probably think you're maybe in an elevator, or it's something it's music without words.
I've got a few apps on my phone as well. I've not used them for a while actually, but I tend to download them now and again because I have playlists and things on Apple Music that I use to get into into that kind of deep working mindset. And but after a while, you get a bit bored of them, to be honest, and they become a bit monotonous. And I have experimented with these apps where they have you can have like bird sound, and you can mix different ambient noises and stuff in there, which works really well. But no, I'll have to try Brain FM. Is it a free app, or is it something that you have to pay for that? Or?
I think it's like a 3-day trial, but then there's it's not very expensive. I want to say it's like $1 a month or something. It's fairly inexpensive. And you mentioned a good point there. There's nothing wrong with using other music, that it's whatever kind of gets you in and keeps you in that zone. But I know for me that music with words tends to pull me out, or if I have to anything that's going to cause my brain to concentrate on something else, I try to avoid. And this app does a really good job of just keeping those tones and beats and melodies just steady and constant. So.
Yeah, and that kind of links to your third choice, doesn't it? There's definitely a theme running through this, which, but it's your third choice is headphones, isn't it? But a certain type of headphone.
Yeah. So, going down the list here, the noise canceling headphones are definitely important to this whole process, and especially working from home, and especially in this whole time when we're all in lockdown here, being together as I have a family. So keeping the noise canceling headphones, right close to me right here is very, very important just to get that distraction out of the way. One of the, and we alluded to it earlier, one of the main drawbacks of flow is being taken out of it, having that distraction pull you out of the zone, so to speak. And the science behind it tells us that it takes us 20 to 25 minutes to get back into flow once we've been taken out.
What are your headphones of choice?
I have a set of Plantronic Backbeats 2.
Okay. Are they over the ear or are they in ear?
They're actually over the ear. Yeah, they've been pretty steady for me the last couple of years. They were recently commandeered by my son. So I've been looking at. I watched your video on Sony, and I made the mistake of going and trying them out. They're pretty amazing.
The XM3s, which are in this
the
box.
XM3 there.
XM4s, sorry, XM4s,
Yeah.
the XM3s. Although I think, as I mentioned in that video, if they're still available, which I think they are actually, I'll put a link in the description. But the XM3s are a bargain, I think, really, given that the XM4s aren't that different, really, in general use.
That's good to know. I'll keep an eye for some deals on XM3s. Pairing the two, it was kind of a night and day for me. The Backbeats did a good job with noise canceling, and I've used them for, like I said, for years now. But going to the store maybe a few days ago and picking up the XM4s, wow,
Yeah.
they sold me. I wish they
amazing,
weren't as expensive as they were.
Yeah, they're not cheap, but I think when I look back at the productivity gains I've got from work, even with the old version, although it's hard to put that in monetary terms, I just know the amount that I used them and how much work I got done while I was using them. I think, like you've just said, the way you've described a decent pair of noise cancelling headphones, it really does put you in that working mindset, doesn't it? Which makes the investment, even though they're not cheap, probably does make it worth it. But there's lots of other options out there.
Sure.
We've got the AirPod Pros from Apple, which still aren't cheap headphones, but they're very good in terms of noise cancelling. So, okay, what's your fourth choice?
So my fourth choice is again, it's not as high tech as you'd like, but it's probably a really good option for me. Is I went with a standing desk after years and years of kind of laughing at the idea. When they first came out, three whatever, I saw them 3 or 4 years ago. I kind of thought they were just a fad, and they were like, that's not for me. But as I sit more and more and use my office more and more, I was kind of getting back pain, and I'd moved to the couch, and it was kind of the same thing, and I finally kind of gave in and bought a standing desk right during the middle of COVID, and it took quite a while to get it, as everything was back ordered, but it was one of those things that I wish I'd have done it sooner. A freebie that came along with the desk is they sent a balance board. You get like a couple free gifts, and the balance board was one of them. And I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. So I put it on the floor for the first day, and I'm like, yeah, it was neat, but by day 3. It was I don't get it. I don't use the standing desk without it anymore. It's such a kind of integral part. I just enjoy the, I'm kind of a fidgeter anyway. I like to move around, and that kind of fills that need to move back and forth while I work. And
Yeah, and finally, your fifth choice for working from home tech. What is it?
The last one I picked was as a writer. This is an app that I really wouldn't want to do without it. I could do without it, but I really wouldn't want to. It's Grammarly or one of the other AI-powered writing assistants. That was kind of a game changer for me as far as my writing. You can use the word spell check all you want, but getting something that's using like these deep learning and natural language processing, natural language processing systems to help with your writing is that from a text standpoint, it's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I know it's not a perfect science as yet, or it's a perfect app as yet, but I think as the years go on, it's going to get better and better.
I've used Grammarly quite a bit. I think, like you say, relying too much on Word is dangerous, and relying too much. I mean, we both do a lot of writing, obviously, but yeah, relying on my own ability to proofread my own work isn't good enough, really. But yeah, I love Grammarly. Also, it's worth mentioning that it's got quite a good integration with Chrome. I think Safari as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
So it works across all the web. So if for example you perhaps publish blogs on WordPress, I quite often find that if I've uploaded some text into WordPress, it will pick out loads of things that I've missed elsewhere, just because of that plugin. So yeah, it's another time saver, isn't it? I think again.
Definitely.
Anyone who's working from home at the moment, it's an ideal little tool, particularly if you do a lot of writing. Cheers, Matt. I think there's a couple of things there I need to check out. I need to get myself a balance board. I think definitely when I get my standing desk as well.
Here,
But
here. Let me
oh right, you got it there. Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's
Ah,
kind
I see. Yep.
see. There's a.
Oh, it's pretty.
That's
It's
kind of
not
what it
too
looks
big
like on a.
either, is it?
No, it's not terribly. It's kind of like I guess it's description of me maybe a skateboard with a little plastic piece on the bottom to keep you from teetering.
So there you go, 5 awesome pieces of tech. Who knew that our brain was a piece of tech as well? I'll put links to some of the things that he mentioned in the video description, and also some details about Matt himself if you want to get to know him and see what he's all about. Until next time, thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and I will catch you next time. Cheers.